Are you like Gideon, living your life, doing the right thing in the wrong place, working so hard but not seeing any result? Because the way you're living, listen now, the way you're living is dictating and describing your feelings. Who are you? Right? This is such an important question, I believe, but at the same time, this is such a unique question. Go with me to the book of Judges, if you can. Judges chapter 6, verses 11 to 16. The angel of the Lord. Are you listening? Yeah. The angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak at Ophrah that belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, where his son Gideon, now this name is important, say Gideon. But he was threshing wheat in a winepress. That's strange. But he was doing that to keep it from the Midianites. Do you do the right thing in the wrong place sometimes in life? I'm talking to you. Do you do the right thing in the wrong place sometimes because you're afraid of people? Oh. But when the angel of the Lord appeared, everything changed. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." The Bible starts by telling us in this part that Gideon is living in hiding. The story ends by telling us Gideon is ruling and reigning in all of Israel. The story ends, I'm talking about you and Gideon. The story ends by saying Gideon was ruling and reigning. He was not the tail, he was the head. He was ruling and reigning. Gideon had dominion, right? That the story ends. But the story starts. The part where the story starts, they give us this introduction. They don't say anything about Gideon's birth. That's why there's no Christmas for Gideon. Right? They don't tell us about his birth. They only introduce him for the very first time in the part where Gideon is living in hiding. And the question I want to ask you is, what part of your story are you living in right now? What part are you living in right now? Are you like Gideon, living in hiding right now? Are you like Gideon, living in fear about your future right now? Are you like Gideon, living in a part where you are confused because there's no clarity about your life? Are you like Gideon, living confused because you don't know your calling? Are you like Gideon, living your life, doing the right thing in the wrong place, working so hard but not seeing any result, working like a slave but having no sovereignty, having no power, but you're giving everything that you have? Are you living like Gideon? Because the way you're living, listen now, the way you're living is dictating and describing your feelings. The way you're living, your living condition is affecting the condition of your heart. Because you're living right now and you're thinking to yourself, man, I think this is all there is to my story. You're living right now in that situation, in that problem, and you're thinking, this is the end of my story. And I'm here to tell you that where you're living right now is just a part of your story. That is not your entire story. Where you are right now is just a part, is just a chapter in your story. Where you are right now is only chapter number 6 in your story. And chapter number 6 is not the end of your story. Chapter number 6 is not the entire story. Because check this out, I'm here to tell you there is more to your story. Where you're living right now is not your story. There is more to your story. Or you're not getting this. The house that you're living in right now, that's not your story. There's a better house yet to come in your story because there is more to your story. The car you're driving or the car you're not driving is not your story. There's a better car yet to come because there is more. The people that you have in your life that is making your life so miserable, that is not your story. There are amazing, godly, appointed, divine people that God has placed in your life which are yet to come. Because there is more to your story. Oh, the sickness that you're facing right now, that is not your story. I want to talk to someone watching online. The cancer you're fighting right now, that is not your story. Because God wrote your story. And God did not write cancer in your story. God did not write sickness in your story. God wrote healing in your story. God wrote divine health in your story. And there is more to your story. There is more to your story. I refuse to stand here, to sit in my problems and cry because I know there is more to my story. Am I talking to anyone today? Is there anyone? There is more. And the world has not seen who you really are because there's more to your story. The world has not seen, Sunil, who you really are because there's more to your story. Ash, there is more to your story. Sabrina, there is more to your story. Karan, there is more to your story. Mosaic, there's more to your story. Who am I talking to who believes there is more to my story? So don't waste your tears on this part of your life right now because there's more to your story. Don't cry tears of sorrow right now because reserve some tears because you will use them to cry tears of joy because there's more to your story. Oh, there's more to your story. Praise Him if you know there's more to your story. Because praise is a declaration that there is more to my story. When you praise in the middle of your problems, you're telling the devil, hey, this is not my story. I am going to praise. And the devil is shocked. The enemy is shocked. Satan is shocked. How are they praising God? They should be crying. They should be making a face like some of you are making. They should be yawning. They should be distracted. Why are they praising God? Don't they know their problem? But you're like, no, I know my problem, but I know this is not my story. And I'm going to give Jesus praise in the middle of my problem because I know there is more to my story. What was Gideon's weapon? Gideon's weapon was praise. Oh, let me show you. This is your problem. This is why nothing is happening in your life. Check this out. Check this out. Watch me, Gideon said. Watch me. Follow my lead. The reason I'm shouting is for you to follow my lead. But you're standing there quiet as if I'm entertaining you. I'm not a puppet. I'm not a performer. I'm your pastor. And the reason I do whatever I do is so that you would follow my lead. Watch me, said Gideon. Follow my lead. Check this out. What was his lead? When I get to the edge of the camp, do exactly as I do. Can you have the exact energy that your pastor has? Okay. Because Gideon says, blow your trumpets and shout for the Lord and for Gideon. And then, when 300 trumpets sounded and the men shouted, the Lord caused the enemy to turn against each other with their own swords, and the enemy fled. You're thinking, how is God going to do this in my life? How is this huge enemy going? Who is going to kill them? I don't have a weapon. Oh, you do. You have a weapon of praise. But listen, praise doesn't move the enemy. Praise moves yourself. Praise raises you up from this state of mind that you are in, the bored state of mind, to a heavenly state of mind. And when you find yourself in heavenly places, you are suddenly surrounded by an army of angels. And the army of angels are very high, and they'll make inferior enemies in your life to kill each other, to attack each other, and they will self-destruct. That's how battles are won in the kingdom. And this is your application. This is your lesson. You need this. This is how things are going to happen, because they've not happened for so long. I want you to practice your praise. See, I said the word praise, but no response. I want you to practice your praise, because that is how battles are won in the kingdom. In every situation of your life, give Him praise. When you're struggling at work, give Him praise. Don't look at the struggle, look at God's strength. And because wherever you're looking, that is going to be your response. If you're looking at your struggle, your response is going to be according to the struggle. But if you're looking at heaven, if you're looking at the sovereign God, your response is going to be praise. In your struggles, give Him praise. When you're struggling at your work, give Him praise. You're struggling at your home, give Him praise. You're struggling with your finances, give Him praise. You're struggling with your health, give Him praise. Give Him praise. Because a mighty warrior has a mighty enemy. But a mighty enemy needs a mighty weapon. And your mighty weapon is a mighty praise.